The warm summer air enveloped the city of Honolulu, Hawaii, on August 4th, 1961. The sun shone brightly over the bustling streets, casting a golden glow over the residents going about their daily lives. In a small apartment on Baratania Street, a young woman named Ann Dunham was preparing for the arrival of her baby. She was expecting a child, and the due date was near. Ann Dunham was a bright and ambitious woman. Born in Wichita, Kansas, she had grown up in a family that valued education and hard work. Her parents, Madeline and Stanley Dunham, had instilled in her a sense of curiosity and a love for learning. Ann had met a young man named Barrack Obama Sr. while attending the University of Hawaii. He was a bright and charismatic student from Kenya who had come to the United States to pursue his dreams. The two had fallen in love, and Ann became pregnant with their child. As Ann awaited the arrival of her baby, she felt a mix of emotions. She was excited to meet her child, but she was also worried about the challenges they would face. She knew that raising a biracial child in a society that was still grappling with issues of racism and prejudice would not be easy. Despite these concerns, Ann was determined to give her child the best possible start in life. At 7:51 p.m. on August 4th, 1961, Ann gave birth to a baby boy. They named him Barrack Hussein Obama II. The young parents were overjoyed at the arrival of their son. Barrack Sr. was beaming with pride as he held his newborn baby in his arms. Ann smiled weakly from her hospital bed, feeling a sense of relief and happiness. As news of the birth spread, family and friends gathered at the hospital to congratulate the young parents. Madeline and Stanley Dunham were overjoyed at the arrival of their grandson. They welcomed Barrack Sr. into their family with open arms, despite the cultural differences that might have seemed daunting. The early days of Barrack's life were filled with love and care. Ann and Barrack Sr. did their best to balance their responsibilities as young parents with their pursuit of education and career goals. However, their relationship faced significant challenges. Barrack Sr. was pursuing his graduate studies, and Ann was working on her own degree. The demands of parenthood proved too great for the young couple, and they eventually decided to go their separate ways. Despite the difficulties, Ann remained committed to providing a stable and loving environment for her son. She continued to pursue her education, determined to build a better life for herself and Barrack. The young family moved to Seattle, where Ann enrolled in the University of Washington. She studied anthropology and worked hard to support herself and her son. As Barrack grew older, he began to develop a sense of curiosity about his father and his heritage. He would often ask Ann about Barrack Sr. and his family in Kenya. Ann did her best to answer his questions, sharing stories about his father's culture and traditions. Despite the physical distance between Barrack and his father, Ann ensured that her son knew about his father's roots and the values that had shaped him. The years passed, and Barrack grew into a bright and inquisitive child. He attended local schools in Seattle and developed a love for learning that would stay with him throughout his life. Ann continued to support her son, encouraging him to pursue his dreams and ambitions. As Barrack entered his teenage years, Ann made the difficult decision to send him to live with her parents in Honolulu. She believed that the stable environment and loving care of her parents would provide Barrack with the best possible chance to thrive. In Honolulu, Barrack settled into a new routine, attending Punahou School and making new friends. He excelled academically and developed a passion for sports, particularly basketball. His grandparents, Madeline and Stanley, provided a loving and supportive environment, instilling in him the values of hard work and education. As Barrack navigated his teenage years, he began to think more deeply about his identity and his place in the world. He grappled with questions about his father and his heritage, seeking to understand more about the man who had played such a significant role in shaping his life. These questions would continue to haunt him as he grew older, influencing the choices he made and the path he would ultimately choose. As Barrack entered his late teenage years, he began to explore his interests and passions more seriously. He became involved in his school's basketball team and developed a strong bond with his teammates. The camaraderie and discipline required in sports helped shape Barrack's character, teaching him valuable lessons about teamwork, perseverance, and leadership. Outside of sports, Barrack's curiosity about his father and his heritage continued to grow. He spent hours reading about Kenya's history and culture, seeking to understand the context in which his father had grown up. This fascination with his roots sparked a broader interest in international affairs and social justice, themes that would later become central to his career. At Punahou School, Barrack was exposed to a diverse range of perspectives and ideas. He engaged in debates, wrote for the school newspaper, and participated in discussions about current events. These experiences helped him develop strong, critical thinking and communication skills, laying the groundwork for his future as a community organizer and politician. During his senior year, Barrack's English teacher, Alan Lum, introduced him to the works of writers like Langston Hughes and Ralph Ellison. These authors' explorations of identity, racism, and the African American experience resonated deeply with Barrack. He found solace in their words, feeling a sense of connection to the struggles and triumphs they described. In 1979, Barrack graduated from Punahou School and decided to attend Occidental College in Los Angeles. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one that would be filled with self-discovery, intellectual exploration, and personal growth. At Occidental, Barrack immersed himself in the world of politics, philosophy, and literature, surrounding himself with peers who shared his passions. As he navigated college life, Barrack continued to grapple with questions about his identity and purpose. He experimented with different personas, trying on various hats to see what fit best. This period of exploration was marked by late-night conversations with friends, debates about politics and philosophy, and a deepening commitment to social justice. After 2 years at Occidental, Barrack transferred to Columbia University in New York City. The vibrant energy of the city, combined with the academic rigor of Columbia, provided the perfect environment for Barrack to flourish. He threw himself into his studies, excelling in his coursework and developing a strong sense of purpose. During his time at Columbia, Barrack became increasingly interested in the world beyond academia. He volunteered at a local church, worked on a community project, and began to explore the city, meeting people from all walks of life. These experiences broadened his perspective, helping him understand the complexities of urban life and the struggles faced by marginalized communities. In 1983, Barrack graduated from Columbia University with a degree in international relations. As he looked to the future, he knew that he wanted to make a difference in the world. He was drawn to the idea of community organizing, a field that allowed him to combine his passion for social justice with his desire to work directly with people. With a sense of purpose and direction, Barrack moved to Chicago, where he would begin his journey as a community organizer. This marked the start of a new chapter in his life, one that would be filled with challenges, triumphs, and personal growth. As he settled into his new role, he was eager to learn, to listen, and to make a positive impact. Chicago, 1985. The city's South Side pulsed with a vibrant energy, a blend of cultures, and a deep sense of community. Barrack Obama, a young community organizer, had just arrived in this bustling metropolis, eager to make a difference. He had been hired by the Developing Communities Project, a church-based community organization that aimed to improve the lives of residents in the city's impoverished neighborhoods. As Barrack settled into his new role, he faced numerous challenges. The community was plagued by poverty, crime, and neglect. Residents felt disenfranchised, and trust in institutions was low. Barrack's task was to build relationships, mobilize the community, and advocate for change. He threw himself into the work, spending long hours listening to residents, attending community meetings, and organizing rallies. One of Barrack's earliest successes came when he helped organize a campaign to improve housing conditions in the Altgeld Gardens neighborhood. Residents had been complaining about mold, rodents, and broken appliances, but the housing authority had been slow to respond. Barrack worked tirelessly with the residents, helping them document their concerns and mobilize support. Eventually, the housing authority agreed to make the necessary repairs, and the community celebrated a hard-won victory. As Barrack's reputation grew, so did his network. He formed alliances with local leaders, churches, and community organizations. He worked closely with the pastor of the Trinity United Church of Christ, Reverend Jeremiah Wright, who became a mentor and friend. Through these relationships, Barrack gained a deeper understanding of the community's needs and aspirations. In 1988, Barrack decided to take a break from community organizing to attend Harvard Law School. He had always been drawn to the law as a means of creating systemic change, and he saw this as an opportunity to sharpen his skills and expand his impact. At Harvard, Barrack excelled, becoming the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. During his time at Harvard, Barrack continued to think about his experiences in Chicago and the lessons he had learned. He wrote articles, participated in debates, and engaged in discussions about social justice and civil rights. His time at Harvard helped him develop a deeper understanding of the law and its role in shaping society. After graduating from Harvard Law School in 1991, Barrack returned to Chicago, determined to apply his skills and knowledge to make a difference. He worked as a civil rights attorney and continued to be involved in community organizing. In 1992, he married Michelle Robinson, a talented lawyer who shared his passion for social justice. In the years that followed, Barrack's commitment to public service only grew stronger. He became involved in politics, working on various campaigns and initiatives. He ran for the Illinois State Senate in 1996, winning a seat that would launch his career in elected office. As a state senator, Barrack worked tirelessly to advocate for his constituents. He focused on issues like education, healthcare, and economic development, always seeking to find common ground and build coalitions. His work in the state Senate helped him build a reputation as a thoughtful and effective leader. In 2004, Barrack decided to run for the United States Senate. His campaign was marked by a powerful speech at the Democratic National Convention, where he delivered a message of hope and unity. Although he won the Senate seat, Barrack's sights were already set on a higher office, the presidency. Barack Obama's decision to run for president was not taken lightly. After years of working as a community organizer, a civil rights attorney, and a state senator, he had gained a reputation as a thoughtful and effective leader. His keynote address at the 2004 Democratic National Convention had catapulted him onto the national stage, and he had since become a sought-after speaker and commentator on politics and social justice. In 2017, Barrack announced his candidacy for the presidency, throwing his hat into a crowded field of Democratic contenders. Despite being a relatively unknown figure on the national stage, Barrack's message of hope and change resonated with many Americans. His campaign, led by David Plouffe, focused on grassroots organizing, social media, and a commitment to transparency and accountability. The road to the White House was long and arduous. Barrack faced stiff competition from Hillary Clinton, a formidable opponent with significant experience and connections. However, Barrack's campaign was fueled by a sense of possibility and momentum as he won key primaries and caucuses across the country. On November 4, 2008, Barrack made history by becoming the first African American to be elected President of the United States. His victory speech, delivered in Chicago's Grant Park, was a testament to the power of hope and the resilience of the American people. Barrack's message of unity and change had resonated with voters, and he was sworn in as the 44th President of the United States on January 20th, 2009. As president, Barrack faced significant challenges, including a global financial crisis, 2 ongoing wars, and a deeply divided country. However, he remained committed to his core values of fairness, equality, and opportunity for all. Some of his notable achievements: a comprehensive healthcare reform bill that expanded coverage to millions of Americans, prohibited insurance companies from denying coverage for pre-existing conditions, and allowed young adults to stay on their parents' insurance plans until age 26. A $787 billion stimulus package that helps stabilize the economy, create jobs, and invest in infrastructure, education, and renewable energy. A key role in securing the Paris Climate Agreement, a global accord aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and mitigating the impact of climate change. A strong advocate for LGBTQ rights, Barrack became the first sitting president to publicly support same-sex marriage nationwide, and his administration played a crucial role in the landmark Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide. An executive action that provided temporary protection from deportation for undocumented immigrants brought to the United States as children, allowing them to work, study, and contribute to society without fear of deportation. Despite these achievements, Barrack's presidency was not without controversy. Critics argued that his policies did not do enough to address income inequality and that the Affordable Care Act was too expensive and complex. Some also criticized his handling of foreign policy, particularly with regards to Iran and Syria. However, Barrack remained committed to his vision for a more just and equitable society. He continued to work tirelessly on behalf of the American people, using his platform to promote unity, understanding, and progress. As Barrack's presidency drew to a close, he reflected on his accomplishments and the challenges that lay ahead. Despite the many obstacles he faced, he remained optimistic about the future, knowing that the work he had done would have a lasting impact on the country and the world. As Barack Obama's presidency drew to a close, he reflected on his accomplishments and the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that his successor would face significant hurdles, but he remained optimistic about the future. The Affordable Care Act, a landmark piece of legislation, had expanded healthcare coverage to millions of Americans. The Recovery Act had helped stabilize the economy, and the Paris Climate Agreement had brought the world together to address the pressing issue of climate change. Expanded healthcare coverage to millions of Americans, prohibited insurance companies from denying coverage for pre-existing conditions, and allowed young adults to stay on their parents' insurance plans until age 26. Stabilized the economy, created jobs, and invested in infrastructure, education, and renewable energy through the Recovery Act. He played a key role in securing the Paris Climate Agreement, a global accord aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and mitigating the impact of climate change. As Obama prepared to leave office, he focused on ensuring a smooth transition. He worked closely with his successor, providing guidance and support to ease the transfer of power. Despite the challenges ahead, Obama remained committed to his vision for a more just and equitable society. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama continued to advocate for education, healthcare, and women's rights. Her initiatives, such as Reach Higher and Let Girls Learn, aim to empower young people and promote positive change. The former First Lady's dedication to public service and her commitment to creating opportunities for all Americans inspired countless individuals. Encouraged young people to pursue higher education and provide resources to help them succeed. Worked to promote girls' education globally. addressing barriers to education and empowering girls to achieve their full potential. As the Obama family looked to the future, they remained committed to public service and making a positive impact. Their legacy continued to inspire a new generation of leaders and changemakers. The story of Barack Obama's life and presidency serves as a testament to the power of hope, resilience, and determination. His journey, marked by significant milestones and challenges, offers valuable lessons for individuals seeking to make a difference in the world. The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.